Andrea, great to see you. 1 point between Lando and Oscar. You've said that you're not going to back one driver over the other in this title fight, despite Max closing in. Can you give us a little bit more background on that, how it all ties into your way of operating as a team?
Well, the way we operate as a team is we are McLaren Racing, we go racing, we let them race, we want to give our drivers their opportunity, and we will try to preserve as much as possible the fairness, the sportsmanship, the equality. We have a very strong relationship with Lando and Oscar. We are facing all this together, and Zach and I are very proud of the team and our drivers for what they have been able to do so far, and I'm sure for what they will be able to do in the next 4 races.
Lando's now leading the way, of course. He said that his preparation, approach and mentality have all improved in recent times. Is this the best version you've seen of Lando?
It's certainly Lando at the peak of his form, to which I think he has added constant development through the season. We don't have to forget that at the start of the season, Lando had a couple of races in which he didn't maximize the potential. So we have looked as a team at making sure that all the conditions are in place for Lando to feel comfortable with the car and express his potential, which is also what we are doing with Oscar now. Oscar was already fast in the race in Mexico, and it's a shame that because of being in traffic all the time during the race, he couldn't express it. But this morning in the FP1 here in Brazil has been remarkably quick.
You touched on it there. It looks like Oscar's in a slightly better place from the outset this weekend. Yeah. And how much has he learned over the last few events?
I think what he has learned in Mexico and Austin is part of the tools he has in his toolbox now to be deployed where needed. Here the conditions are slightly different. I think our car works more naturally well than in Mexico, where he required a little bit of a particular driving style. And I think not only here in Brazil, but even the coming races should see the MCL 39 performing well. And I'm sure that Lando and Oscar will be very close to one another. The problem is that I'm sure Verstappen and the Mercedes and the Ferrari will also be there. I think we'll have great racing.
James, good to see you. First of all, how was FP1 on your side, and how was Carlos? Is he feeling fit again?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I wouldn't say he's 100%, but he's certainly strong enough, as you saw, to put in some very strong performances. And yeah, the car was working from the first lap. There's a but. We also have 18 cars within 8/10 of each other, and between where Carlos was and dropping back 4 or 5 positions is milliseconds. And that's a great thing. That shows you the health of the sport. But the reality is qualifying could be anyone's game in that midfield.
In terms of Alex, when I spoke to him after the race in Mexico, he said he needed a bit of a deep dive after the last few races. What does that look like over the last week or so, and where is he at this weekend?
Good news, we've done a deep dive. He wrote a really, really good set of constructive emails, which really went to the depth of what I've been feeling, why is it here, lots of self-analysis in this, but his performance is there. If you look at his laps, they're there or thereabouts. It's just not consistent. And one of the items is just making sure that we can produce a car for him that's consistent, whether or not he takes a slightly tighter line or brakes 1 meter later. And that's really what the work has been over the last 2 weeks. I think today you saw him within a few milliseconds of Carlos. We have a little bit more to do, but I think we're in a better place.
And can we get a word on Franco as well? Re-signed at Alpine for 2026. How proud are you to see him extend his stay in F1?
Yeah, I'm really proud, really, really proud. My view is he deserved it. He's really picked up, especially over the last 8 races or so, and I think out-qualified Pierre more often than not, which is important in that statistic, and he went on to earn it. But I'm proud to see him just flourish year on year. He has to keep earning that seat. But the second thing I'd element to you is it took us half an hour just to get through the gates this morning, and for good reason. His following, his Argentinian following, is just in mass outside and absolutely behind him, and that's really great for the sport.
Alan, great to see you. A great weekend for the team here last year. Some nice memories on your side, and it looked like a solid start in FP1 this time out as well.
Yeah, it's always good to come in here. It's a super track, super city. I always enjoy it. A challenging track, very, very tricky one for the drivers. Such a short track, and that means times will be even closer than they are normally. So half a tenth here or there is going to make all the difference this afternoon.
You're holding P6 in the team's championship, just 12 points between your spot and P9. Just how much would it mean to the team to get that over the line over these final 4 rounds?
Huge. It's massive. And I don't just mean the financial side of it, the pride that the team, I think 6 would be equally the best result the team has ever had in the constructors. So it's where 100% of our focus is on at the moment.
And just finally, what can you tell us about 2026 lineup plans? I know you've probably had a few questions on this recently. We heard in Mexico a little bit more time is going to be taken to figure out who's going to sit where next year. What can you tell us? What's the thinking at the moment?
The thinking is that we're in a very tight battle in the constructors, but also Red Bull Racing are as well. And we have a pool of drivers. We just want to keep things consistent now, and then once this constructors battle is shaken out, we'll make an announcement after that.
Yeah, we have listened to 3 of the team principals of the Formula 1. I just want to start with Stella. I think actually what he's saying and what they are doing are the same thing. As we can see, they are giving a chance to their drivers to have the equal fight for the winning the drivers championship. They had a very good performance at the practice one. They had a very consistent performance at the practice one, and of course after practice 2, one more time, just Lando finished at the first position, and Oscar Piastri his performance was good enough for the 3rd position. The fight is on between them, and also there is let's say Max Verstappen coming from back, but with this performance of McLaren's, I don't believe that Max Verstappen will have that chance to overtake them. And of course, as you see at the sprint qualifying today, he didn't have enough pace, let's say, to be at the first position, or to have a chance, at least to be at the first or the second row. And we came to the Williams, of course, what James Wolf have built. I think it's pretty amazing, and they are doing a pretty amazing job with their team. Of course, the both of the drivers are having very good performances, but today at the qualifying, I think it was a very big disaster to see Carlos Sainz at the last position. I think that was a very very big surprise for the today's sprint qualifying. Maybe they optimized this car for the rain that we are going to have tomorrow at the sprint race, but I think it was the very big adjustment for the tomorrow that costed them a lot for the today's qualifying. And of course, the biggest question mark in Formula 1 is Racing Bulls. Let's say there is a lot of rumors who is going to replace Yuki. Is Yuki going to be back at the Racing Bulls? As I said, it's a biggest question mark right now at the Formula 1. But like a team this season, they are doing a very, very, very good job, very pretty job, and they are just at the 6th position. And the 6th position, maybe if they will have chance to take also the 5th position, it will be their the team's best finish position in the history. And I'm not going to talk anymore to talk too much about the team principles. Just I wanted to ask to all of you to not forget to like the video, to comment, and of course to subscribe to the channel.